Welcome, guys, to another episode of Frequency Shift. If you're tuning in right now, whether it be visually or auditory, I want you to take a moment and just let's take a breather together. Like, we're gonna count to 3 and breathe in, and then we're gonna release that. And then we're going to take another deep breath in. We're going to release it. And we're going to take a third deep breath. And then we're going to release that. And then we're going to begin today's episode. Ready? All right, come on. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. Exhale that breath. Release. We're going to take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Release that breath. Release all the tension, all the stress, all the tears, all the confusion. Release it. Now the last one, I want you to take it really, really, really deep. Take it in, take everything. And release. All right. Hopefully after doing that, you feel a little bit better. And I definitely had to start with that because, it has been a tough few. I mean, last week and the week before. I don't even know at this point. I know it's heavy. A lot of things that's going on right now is heavy. The energy is heavy, and there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of turmoil going on. There's a lot of what in the world is going on right now in this time frame of 2020. So this episode is just gonna flow, and it's just gonna be dedicated to reshifting our balance in and getting into a space of healing, because I think what is occurring on a wide scale right now is there's too much trauma and pain and unhealed wounds and unaddressed issues that has caused the world to be spilling over in the way that it is. Especially right now in this country, there's a lot of tension when it comes to the justice system and police, and then there's a lot of tension, a racial tension brewing. There's a lot of things that's happening overseas. It's a lot right now, so I just want us to take a breather. But this episode is going to be focused on healing, because if this reaches someone, I think the issue of healing is something that needs to be addressed, because things are the way they are now because no one is healing, and everybody's projecting their inner pains and experiences on other people. That's what we're doing right now as a collective, and we need to take some steps back. We always have the choice to take steps back and reevaluate things. It never has to continue going in a specific direction. We all have a choice, and collectively I'm hoping that we make the right choice when it comes to humanity as a whole, and we see the bigger picture. So I want to talk about healing. Before I go into that, I'm just going to go into why you need healing, or why we need to heal collectively. From the moment you get to on this and step into this world as an infant, you are kind of like a sponge, and you absorb the world around you. You have no manual, you have no map. You're just here. And every year you grow, not even just the years. Every minute from the time you're pushed out of your mother's birth canal, you have been absorbing and growing and figuring yourself out, or trying to create your persona, the person who you are projecting to everyone to be. And then you also eventually reach the point of refiguring yourself out. So, the first years of your life up until now, you've been absorbing and you have created a persona. Now, that persona is an accumulation of the things that you have been told by others, the experiences that you have gone through, um, inside your home environment and outside in the social world, and then, the biological factors of your genetics and everything play a role in that as well. So it forms you who are you today. Um, a lot of times we don't realize that there have been things that we have gone through or experienced, or words that have been spoken to us that have stuck in our psyche and has replayed over and over again into making you who you are today. So, for example, if someone doesn't know who they are, of course, someone's always telling you, "Oh, you're smart, John. Yo, this speaking John, or this boy John. You're so smart. You're so intelligent." And you're growing up and you're hearing that all the time. Somebody's telling you, "So smart. You're so intelligent. You're smart. You're smart." Eventually, you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I'm smart. My name is John and I'm smart." That's one of the characteristics that you will attach to yourself, that you are an intelligent individual, because it's something that you've heard over and over. And if multiple people are telling you this, then it has to be true, because they're seeing you, right? They're seeing who you are and who you are supposed to be. So now you have internalized that characteristic about you from what everyone said. And then it goes from just those words being said to, like, your parents telling you how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to behave, society teaching you what is acceptable, what you should and shouldn't do. So as a child, you're soaking in all those things. You're looking around, you're like, okay, when I get out of here, um, I'm this age. You're going to play with your friends, but you have to behave in a certain manner because your parents told you to do so. And that's how we start making up this exterior shell of who we are. Now, when we're children, there's a part of us that is so free. Think about it and go back, go back, go back, go back to when you just did what you wanted to do. Sometimes you might have gotten yelled at, but there was a sense of freedom, and you didn't feel confined to things as you do today. So the confinement that you feel today is years and years and years and years and years of being loaded with a structure of what is acceptable. Now today, that is shaking up a little bit. And because the human, I believe, goes through a process of growth, a process of evolving from the inside to the out, and that requires a disruption. Somewhere along your growth period, something happens that's kind of like a catalyst to shift you in a new direction of growth. And it's not to say that you grew up in such a horrible way, or, society really damaged you, and it does to some individuals, but it's just saying that the character that you're playing is no longer in resonance with who you truly are breaking out to be. Okay? So stay with me here. It's deep. So now the inner you, the real you, is doing things so that you can become aware of your programming. You can become aware of the past experiences that you've gone through that has molded you into being ran by your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is running, and you think you're conscious. You are awake, but your subconscious mind, with all the hidden things from behind there, is actually what's driving you today. And there comes a time when that switches and you begin to feel that shift. Okay. So now you're going to a place where shadow work takes place. Shadow work doesn't happen until your traumas start to resurface. Okay? Now, follow me before. You started off with all these ideals and things that in your head of who you believe to yourself to be, all these experiences that have made you. I am this, I am Sammy. This is how I am. This is what I do. This is just me. It's an accumulation. Now you're at a point where that you that you built yourself to be, and you said this is you, is actually staring at the real you. And the real you is saying, okay, this is who you thought you were, but I'm here to tell you that there's a deeper version of you that exists within you that wants to come forth. So now it's a battle, right? You might want to ignore it because of all the years of conditioning. But what happens is the triggers start to occur. And when you start getting those triggers, if you're not aware of it at first, you're looking at things happening and you're like, this person, when they're around me, like, I just feel so, like, I can't stand them around me. Or you'll be like, this person hurt me so much. Why did you do that? Or you'll be projecting blame outwardly. But when you start paying attention to triggers, because what they do is they resurface, right? If you haven't dealt with them, they're going to resurface because they want to force you to go into that assessment mode, right? That's a part of healing. You have to first assess, and then you have to accept, right? And then you have to come to terms and at peace and let go. That's a whole series of steps. And it takes a while to get to that point. But when you follow the journey of healing, you'll see how it goes in that way. So the triggers will come and you'll be like, okay, well, at first you'll be like, why is this happening? Oh, I'm having these reactions to people, places, or situations. And then that'll go away. And then maybe years down the line, a similar situation will happen, or a similar person will come in your path. The exact type of situation, but just different, like a different scenario. And if you are not paying attention, you'll go through it and do the same thing until you get to a point where you'll start to become aware of these triggers. And you're like, okay, I'm coming across this person, the same type of characteristic, and it's triggering something within me. Where does this stem from? So maybe let's give an example of dating life. Everybody dates, right? Millennials, you guys are dating. Generation Z, you guys are out here living life. But you'll take it back to, let's go to that and just use that as a scenario. Let's say there's a woman who she finds herself dating the same type of individuals. And at first she doesn't recognize it. She'll just be like, oh, it's the same person. Or not the same person, but why do I keep getting these type of situations? And then after it repeats itself, she'll take a look at it and be like, wait, what is the common factor here? Oh, they all acted like this, or they all were like this. But what was in me to make me draw that type of individual inside of my space? Because a person cannot come into your space unless you give that approval. And it doesn't have to be a verbal approval, but when I say space inside your energy field, it's like you send off a frequency out there and it comes back to you. So most times our triggers pull up mirrors so that we can see what's going on the inside that we aren't addressing. For example, like I said, the female that's dating a certain type of guy. Let's say that she is dating a person who is inconsistent. Maybe she got that trait, or maybe that is something that's following her because of something that could have happened in her past. For example, a woman who might have not had her father present. That was her first reaction or her first interaction with the male, right? And if that person was absent or wasn't always there, she carries that with her as she ages. And if it's not addressed, if it's not healed, it will transmute itself into other relationships that she has, she or he. It can also be the same factor for men. Dating a person who is like an absentee mother, or, or someone who wasn't present or didn't get that attention, so they always seek attention from feminines, and they need the constant attention to feel like they're something. So if you look at those different aspects, usually when it comes to our traumas and things that we need to heal, we bring things along with us from our childhood ages. And when you start to take the time to look back at the things that happened to you when you were a child, things that you didn't think were significant at the time, or you're like, oh, that happens, I don't want to be reminded by it, I'm just going to throw it in the back of my mind, I'm grown now, it doesn't affect me. Those are the same things that come back to affect you. So those are the triggers. How do we deal with these triggers when it comes? I said the first thing you have to do is go into a mode of assessment. What is causing this situation, this person, or this circumstance to make me have such an adverse reaction, like that it's getting down deep into my soul? Like, what is it triggering within me? Why am I feeling this much energy towards this situation, person, or thing? You really, really have to you have to dig deep. What is that experience? What has that experience triggered within you from something from the past? It always does. Triggers are only things to remind us of things from the past that we haven't healed. I'll say that again. Triggers are only things that surface from the past, and they stand in front of us as a mirror to make us go within and heal something that we did not heal from the past. Okay? So you assess it. You go within and you meet the place that it first happened. When did I first feel this type of energy or anger or hurt or resentment or abandonment or grief or humiliation, or when did it start? And when you go back to that point, you have a seat with that child, which is you, and you assure it, I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm so sorry that you went through this. I acknowledge it. And I'm healing. And I hope that you're healing too. Please, let's heal. These are the conversations that you have to have with yourself. And it might sound weird, like, what, Sandy, you want me to go and have a conversation with myself? Like my inner child? It's your inner child. We're all in our inner child all the time, and we just don't realize it. But now it's actively going into your inner child and healing these traumas. And then what you'll realize is at that time, when you make peace with it, forgive or do whatever you have to do, then that consistent trigger, it doesn't pop up as often as it used to. Or it'll pop up just to see if you really truly have healed that aspect, and it will remove itself. Congratulations, right? You'll clap for yourself like, yes, I got through this trigger. I see what's happening here. I see it. Nip it in the bud, growth. The fun part about it is it doesn't end. So you can heal from one thing, but healing is a continuous journey. And it's something that you have to continuously do over and over again, because there's so many things that some people have gone through more things than others. So depending on who you are, take the time. and be gentle with yourself through the process. And don't compare your process to anyone else, because you are unique, and everything that you have been through has been unique, and it has shaped you into who you think you are. But once you shed those layers and you let go of the heavy burden that society and your environment and yourself has placed on you, you'll start to be free, and you'll start to experience freedom. And when you go through such a deep dive into your healing journey, you'll start to be a little more empathetic to those that are around you. And you will realize that in this world that we're living in, every single person that you come across has a story. Every single person that you come across has gone through some type of trauma in one shape or form. And we are all connected. And we all are affecting each other in our pain and our hurt. And if we're not addressing our pains, we're projecting our pains. And that's a continuation of pain from one person to the other. And when we don't address these wounds, we hurt others. And you know the term that says hurt people hurt people? Well, the world must be hurting, because it seems like everyone is hurting everyone, some more than others. And we have the choice to take responsibility within ourselves. You cannot expect the world outside of you to change if you're not even doing anything to change within yourself. You make up the collective. We are collective. We chose to be here. If the world is the way that it is today, it's because we have all made the conscious decision for it to be so. Because if it's not changing, that means we're deciding. Deciding is also deciding not to do anything as well. If everyone took one moment to just reflect on their lives, reflect on things that's going on within themselves, and decided to say, yo, I have some healing to do. I'm sorry, I can't be in a relationship with you right now because I have to work on me. I'm sorry, I can't give you my time right now or my energy because I'm working on some things that's going in within here. I'm sorry, I just can't be the best this that I can be because I'm healing. And this year has been tough. Can we all just be honest with each other? This year has been tough. It's been an emotional drainage, but it's been a big mirror that we cannot avoid. We can't pretend like it's not existing, because it is. Every time you turn on your TV, if you watch TV, today we're on our phones. Every time you look at your phone, month after month after month in the year 2020, there have been something. But through it all, there is always an opportunity for growth within. So that's the first part of my healing series that I just want to put out there. It's the recognition and the triggers. And it gets deeper into that. It's going to get deeper, but this is the first one that I want to give you guys because collectively, man, we're on something. We are on something, and it's not going to stop until we take the time to really take responsibility. So guys, that is it for today. I hope you took that breather, and if you need to go back to the beginning and take those breaths again, do it. If you need to take time away, do it. Like right now, most importantly, your mental health is the most important at this point. Share love, pour love from the inside out to yourself. Let it overflow so that it can reach others, man, so that we can shift this frequency on the planet around into a higher vibration. Until next time, guys. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that a frequency shift is here. I appreciate all of you tuning in always. Peace, love, and light. I'm out.